Chosen one, you accidentally broke divine rules. Heaven is in shambles since you did this. The moment you hear these words, your heart feels heavy and your spirit trembles because deep inside you sense that something sacred has shifted. You never meant to step outside the lines drawn by heaven, yet your actions carried weight far beyond what you understood. This is not a story of rejection, but a story of awakening. This is about the tender space between human weakness and divine mercy, where God still reaches for you with love. Stay close, because what you are about to understand will steady your soul and heal the fear rising inside you. Type 999 if you believe. When you stumbled, you thought it was small. You thought no one noticed, but heaven noticed, not with anger, not with thunder, but with deep concern. Divine rules are not chains meant to trap you. They are loving boundaries placed around your destiny to protect your heart, your calling, and your peace. When you stepped beyond them, heaven did not collapse in rage. It trembled in sorrow because it loves you that much. You are chosen, and that is why your actions carry spiritual weight. When an ordinary soul falls, the impact is quiet. When a chosen soul falls, the ripple moves through unseen realms. Heaven reacts not because it wants to punish you, but because your life matters deeply in the plan of God. You are not random. You are not unnoticed. You are not replaceable. Within these first moments of realization, let your heart soften instead of harden. If your heart is open right now, take a moment to like this video and stand in faith with me. This small act is a step of humility and agreement with what God is restoring in you. You did not wake up one day intending to break divine order. It happened slowly, a compromise here, a quiet disobedience there, a moment of pride or fear or impatience. None of it seemed large at the time. Yet spiritual laws are woven into the fabric of your life, and even small tears can disturb the design. Heaven felt the strain because your purpose is woven into many other lives. When you shift, others shift. When you fall silent, someone else loses courage. When you step away from obedience, the light that was meant to shine through you dims for a season. This is why heaven moved, not to condemn you, but to call you back before deeper damage was done. God is not fragile. His throne does not shake because of one mistake. But your connection with him is precious, and when that bond weakens, it affects your peace, your clarity, and your strength. The shambles you feel are not chaos in heaven itself. They are the echo of disorder in your own spirit. And God, in his mercy, refuses to let you remain in that state. You may feel shame rising inside you. You may replay the moment again and again. Let that cycle end now. Shame is not from God. Conviction is gentle and clear. It guides you forward. Shame traps you in the past. The Father calls you upward, not backward. You are still chosen. That truth has not changed. Even when you broke what was holy, the love of Christ did not withdraw. Jesus stands between your weakness and your destiny. He does not deny what happened, he transforms it. He turns broken rules into lessons. He turns regret into maturity. He turns failure into testimony. The divine rules you crossed were not meant to suffocate you. They were meant to guard the treasure placed inside you. You are carrying gifts that must be protected. Your words, your influence, your kindness, your faith. When you drifted away from obedience, you stepped outside that protection. Heaven rushed, not to strike you, but to shield you from greater harm. There is something powerful about realizing you have fallen short. It breaks pride, it softens stubbornness, it creates space for growth. God can do more with a humble heart than with a flawless record. Perfection never saved anyone. Grace did. Type 777 if you trust Jesus. Right now, heaven is not in panic. it is in preparation. Angels are not wringing their hands, they are repositioning your path. The Spirit of God is not condemning you, He is guiding you gently back to alignment. What felt like shambles is actually restructuring. What felt like collapse is actually correction. You may have broken a rule, but you did not break the covenant of love that holds you. That covenant was sealed in sacrifice and mercy. It is stronger than your misstep. It is deeper than your guilt. It is steady when you are unsteady. This season will teach you something priceless. You will learn to pause before acting. You will learn to listen more closely to the quiet nudges of the Spirit. You will learn that obedience is not about fear. It is about trust. Every divine instruction carries protection within it. God is drawing you closer, not pushing you away. When heaven seemed shaken, it was your spirit being awakened. The disturbance you sensed was the sound of correction knocking at your door, and correction, when received with humility, becomes a blessing. You are not cast out, you are being refined. Fire does not destroy gold, it purifies it. In the same way, this moment of awareness is burning away what does not belong in your life. It is clearing space for stronger faith, deeper wisdom, and steadier character. Let your heart rest in this truth. The God who set the rules is the same God who offers mercy. Jesus did not come for those who never fail. He came for those who fall and rise again with faith. Your story is not ending in shame, it is moving toward restoration. Divine rules are not distant commands written in cold stone. They are living expressions of God's wisdom flowing toward your protection. Each instruction carries light, each boundary carries love. When you moved beyond one of those boundaries, you stepped into confusion, and that confusion felt like spiritual shaking. What if wealth was always influenced by a hidden brain signal, buried in classified files and never fully explained to the public? This frequency is now opening new pathways, attracting opportunities and transforming lives faster than expected. Thousands are already using it to draw wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brainwave today. The reason it felt so intense is because you are not ordinary. You carry spiritual responsibility. Your obedience opens doors for others. Your faith strengthens others. When you waver, it creates gaps in places you cannot see. Heaven responds strongly to your steps because your life touches more souls than you realize. This is not about blame, this is about awareness. The Father is not counting your errors with a harsh tone. He is guiding you into maturity. Growth always follows awareness. The pain you felt was not rejection, it was loving correction that refused to let you drift too far. There are moments when chosen people grow comfortable. They begin to rely on past victories instead of present obedience. They assume grace will always cushion them without consequences. Grace is abundant, but it never removes the importance of alignment. It teaches you to walk wisely, not carelessly. When you broke that divine order, something inside you shifted, your peace thinned, your clarity blurred, your confidence weakened. These are gentle warning signs from heaven. God allows discomfort so you can recognize misalignment before greater harm comes. The shambles you sensed were internal. Your spirit was unsettled because it is designed to thrive in obedience. When obedience is broken, even slightly, your soul feels the imbalance. It is like stepping out of shelter into harsh weather. The storm does not come from God's anger, it comes from being outside His covering. Yet even in that exposure, He did not abandon you. He watched carefully, He guarded you quietly. He limited the damage. You may never fully know what greater danger you were spared from. Mercy often works in silence. This season is teaching you discernment. It is sharpening your awareness of the Spirit's voice. Before this, you may have ignored small nudges. Now you understand their value. Every whisper from God is precious. Every instruction carries life. The truth is that heaven is deeply protective of your calling. You are entrusted with influence, even if it seems small right now. Influence does not always look grand. Sometimes it is one conversation, one prayer, one act of kindness. But those moments ripple outward in ways only eternity can measure. When you stepped outside divine order, those ripples were disrupted. Not destroyed, but disturbed. Heaven reacted because it refuses to let your destiny weaken. The shaking was heaven's way of catching you before you drifted further. God's correction is never meant to crush you. It is meant to anchor you. Anchors hold ships steady when waves grow strong. Correction holds your spirit steady when temptation tries to pull you off course. You are being stabilized, not shamed. There is something holy about realizing you need God more than you thought. That realization humbles pride. It softens resistance. It deepens intimacy. Your mistake became a doorway to closeness. Type 1111 if you trust in God. Right now, Jesus is standing beside you in compassion. He is not distant. He is not disappointed in a way that pushes you away. His love is firm and steady. He understands your human weakness. He understands how easy it is to misjudge a moment. Yet he also understands the greatness placed within you. Your calling is too valuable to leave unattended. Heaven protects what carries divine purpose. The disruption you felt was heaven refusing to lose you to distraction. The enemy would love to keep you outside of alignment, but God intervened before confusion turned into captivity. This part of your journey is about rebuilding discipline. Discipline is not harshness. It is devotion in action. It is choosing obedience, even when emotions pull elsewhere. It is choosing patience when impatience feels easier. It is choosing humility when pride feels justified. You are learning that small decisions shape large outcomes. Divine rules often feel simple, yet their simplicity carries deep power. A small act of obedience can preserve years of blessing. A small compromise can delay seasons of growth. You now see that clearly. Do not allow regret to define this chapter. Regret is only useful when it leads to change. And you are changing. Your spirit is becoming more alert. Your heart is becoming more sensitive to God's direction. That sensitivity is a gift. You may notice that prayer feels different now. It feels more sincere, more dependent, more honest. That is maturity unfolding inside you. You are no longer approaching God casually. You are approaching Him with reverence and trust. The shambles that once felt overwhelming are settling into structure. God is rebuilding areas that weakened. He is restoring confidence where doubt crept in. He is strengthening boundaries that were crossed. This rebuilding is quiet but powerful. You are not starting over from nothing. You are continuing from experience. Experience brings wisdom. Wisdom brings steadiness. Steadiness brings peace. And peace is returning to you even now. Type yes to affirm. Let your heart rest in the truth that heaven is not fragile. God's plan was never dependent on your perfection. It is built upon His faithfulness. Even when you faltered, His faithfulness remained intact. That is why restoration is possible. There will come a day when you look back at this moment with gratitude. You will see how close you were to drifting further. You will recognize how mercy intercepted you. You will understand that what felt like heaven in shambles was actually heaven protecting you fiercely. Your obedience from this point forward will carry deeper strength. It will not be surface-level agreement. It will be rooted conviction. You will choose alignment not out of fear, but out of love. Love transforms obedience into joy. God is drawing you into a higher awareness of who you are. You are chosen, but chosen does not mean careless. Chosen means entrusted, entrusted with light, entrusted with responsibility, entrusted with influence that shapes unseen spaces. This chapter is not about failure, it is about formation. Formation prepares you for greater weight. Greater weight requires stronger character. Stronger character is built through correction and response. You responded, that matters. You listened, that matters. You softened instead of resisting, that matters deeply. Deep within your brain lies a small area connected to wealth and achievement, once buried in restricted studies and classified files. This newly uncovered frequency is helping people replace financial strain with ease, and God has guided you to see this message right now. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brainwave now. Sometimes, divine rules protect more than behavior. They protect the condition of your heart. When you stepped outside of alignment, it revealed impatience that had been growing. It revealed subtle independence that believed you could handle certain things alone. It revealed places where your confidence was leaning more on yourself than on God. This realization is not meant to crush you, it is meant to free you. Freedom comes when hidden weaknesses are brought into the light. What stays hidden grows stronger. What is exposed can be transformed. God brought light to that area before it turned into something heavier. Heaven's reaction was intense because your heart matters deeply in the kingdom of God. A hardened heart cannot carry divine assignments well. A divided heart cannot sustain spiritual authority. When heaven sensed that a subtle drift was forming, it responded quickly. That response felt like shaking, but it was actually intervention. The truth is that your destiny requires a tender and obedient heart. Strength in God does not mean stubbornness. It means surrender. It means listening carefully even when instructions feel small. The rule you broke may have seemed minor, but the lesson attached to it is powerful. There are moments when God tests loyalty through simple obedience, not dramatic sacrifice, not public display, just quiet faithfulness in private spaces. Those private spaces shape the foundation of your calling. When you compromised there, the foundation trembled slightly. Heaven moved to reinforce it. You may have felt spiritual distance after your mistake. Prayer may have felt quieter. Worship may have felt heavier. That was not God moving away. That was your awareness adjusting. Sin dulls sensitivity, even when it is accidental. Restoration sharpens it again. Now you are becoming more conscious of how closely heaven walks with you. You are realizing that your thoughts matter, your motives matter, your secret choices matter. Nothing in your life is invisible to God, yet nothing is beyond His mercy either. There is something sacred about being corrected while still loved. It means you are still within the circle of care. If God had abandoned you, there would be no correction. The very fact that you felt the shaking proves you are protected. This season is teaching you spiritual discipline in a new way. Discipline is not about fear of punishment, it is about honoring the one who trusts you with purpose. Every instruction from God is an invitation into deeper partnership. Obedience strengthens that partnership. You are learning to pause before acting. You are learning to examine motives before speaking. You are learning to ask the Spirit for guidance before making decisions. These small habits will guard your future. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. There is also a deeper grace unfolding in you right now. Grace is not permission to ignore divine order. Grace is empowerment to live within it joyfully. The more you understand grace, the more you desire alignment. Love creates obedience that feels natural, not forced. Jesus is shaping your character through this moment. Character is built when you respond well to correction. Anyone can celebrate during blessing. Growth is proven during conviction. You chose humility instead of denial. That choice strengthened you more than you know. You are also learning compassion for others. Now that you have tasted the discomfort of misalignment, you will be gentler with those who stumble. You will understand how easy it is to drift. You will offer grace without lowering truth. This balance will make you a safe place for others. Heaven is not fragile because of you. Heaven is attentive because of you. The disturbance you sensed was divine love moving quickly. It was heaven saying, "You are too valuable to lose focus. You are too significant to allow subtle drift to grow unnoticed." Your calling is entering a new stage of maturity. Before this, obedience may have been more instinctive. Now, it is intentional. Intentional obedience carries deeper strength. It is not based on emotion. It is based on conviction. There will be future moments where temptation tries to return, but you will remember this season. You will remember how it felt to sense that inner shaking. That memory will guide you toward wiser choices. Experience becomes a guardian when you let it teach you. God is also restoring confidence within you. Sometimes after failure, people shrink back. They hesitate. They question whether they are still worthy to serve. That hesitation is not from God. Correction does not cancel calling, it clarifies it. You are not disqualified, you are refined. Refinement removes impurities without destroying value. Gold does not lose worth in fire, it shines brighter. In the same way, this process is increasing your strength. Type 1919 to receive miracles. Miracles do not only happen in dramatic ways. Sometimes the greatest miracle is a transformed heart, a softened spirit, a renewed desire to please God. Those miracles are unfolding inside you right now. Heaven is no longer stirred in alarm, it is watching you rebuild with joy. Angels celebrate obedience just as much as they celebrate deliverance. Every small step you take back toward alignment sends quiet praise through unseen realms. You are becoming more aware of your influence. Your choices create atmosphere around you. Obedience brings peace. Disobedience invites confusion. Now you understand this in a personal way. This understanding will guard your home, your relationships, and your future. There is a deeper intimacy growing between you and God. Mistakes, when surrendered, can create closeness. You now approach Him with honesty. You no longer pretend to be stronger than you are. That honesty invites stronger grace. You may notice that your spiritual senses feel sharper. You discern right and wrong more clearly. You sense conviction faster. This is not fear, it is maturity. It is the fruit of correction embraced rather than resisted. The rule you broke no longer defines you. The lesson it taught you does. That lesson will travel with you into every new season. It will protect you from repeating patterns. It will remind you that divine boundaries are gifts, not restrictions. A 7-second brainwave technique, once reserved for select groups and hidden in classified files, has now been released to the public, and many describe it as the 30-second miracle. Experts say it awakens a dormant brain center linked to wealth and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it's taken down again from the internet. God is preparing you for greater responsibility. Greater responsibility requires steadiness. Steadiness comes from understanding consequences without being crushed by them. You have walked through that understanding now. Your heart is stronger than it was before. Your spirit is humbler. Your awareness is deeper. These qualities are priceless in the kingdom of God. Heaven is not in shambles anymore. It is aligned with you again. Your spirit is settling into peace. The tremble has turned into trust. The confusion has turned into clarity. You are still chosen, not because you never fall, but because you rise in faith. Not because you never err, but because you respond to correction with humility. This is the mark of true spiritual growth. You once believed that your calling would protect you from serious missteps. Now you understand that calling demands closeness. Distance creates vulnerability. When you drifted slightly, the protection did not disappear, but it weakened because intimacy weakened. Heaven responded to draw you back into closeness. This is about relationship more than regulation. Divine rules exist inside relationship. They are not cold commands detached from affection. They are expressions of God's desire to keep you safe within His presence. When you stepped outside of that flow, you felt exposed because intimacy had thinned. God never wanted you operating on spiritual autopilot. He wants awareness. He wants intentional fellowship. He wants your heart engaged, not just your habits. The disruption you felt was a wake-up call from a loving Father who refuses to let you grow distant without notice. There was pride hidden in subtle ways, not loud arrogance, but quiet self-reliance. You trusted your instincts more than His whisper in that moment. It felt small, it felt reasonable, but divine wisdom sees further than human reasoning. Heaven stirred because your independence could have grown roots. Now you are learning the beauty of dependence. Dependence is not weakness, it is strength anchored in the right source. When you depend on God fully, your steps are steady. When you lean on yourself alone, your footing becomes uncertain. This lesson is strengthening your discernment. You are becoming slower to act without prayer. You are becoming more sensitive to inner nudges. What once felt optional now feels essential. That shift marks maturity. There is also healing taking place inside you. Sometimes people break divine order because of unhealed wounds. Old disappointments whisper lies. Past hurt creates impatience. Unresolved pain pushes quick decisions. God is gently touching those areas now. He is not only correcting your behavior, He is healing the reason behind it. He is addressing the root, not just the surface. When roots are healed, future obedience becomes easier and more natural. Type 222 to claim miracles. Miracles are not only external changes, they are internal transformations that reshape your patterns. The miracle unfolding in you is renewed alignment. It is the rebuilding of trust between your heart and God's direction. You are also realizing that heaven's reaction was protective love. When a child runs toward danger, a parent responds quickly and firmly. The firmness does not cancel affection, it proves it. The same is true here. You were moving towards something that would have drained your strength over time. What felt harmless could have become a habit. What felt temporary could have created distance. God stepped in early because He saw what you could not. This awareness will guard you in the future. You will recognize early signs of drift. You will pause when your spirit feels unsettled. You will no longer ignore the quiet discomfort that signals misalignment. There is a deeper reverence forming inside you now. Reverence is not fear that paralyzes, it is awe that steadies. You understand that divine rules carry weight because your life carries purpose. This understanding shapes your choices with wisdom. Heaven is not fragile, it is intentional. The movement you sensed was intentional guidance. It was divine love, adjusting your path before a sharper turn. You are entering a season where obedience will feel lighter. That may sound strange, but it is true. When obedience flows from love rather than pressure, it becomes joyful. You will begin to delight in alignment. You will feel peace when you choose God's way quickly. Jesus is walking closely with you in this stage. His compassion is shaping your confidence. He is not reminding you of failure. He is reminding you of identity. You are His. That truth remains steady. There is also restoration happening in unseen places. Some doors that seemed uncertain are stabilizing again. Some opportunities that felt fragile are being strengthened. Heaven is repairing what was momentarily shaken. Type 1010 if you agree. Agreement with God creates momentum. When you align your heart with His will, progress becomes smooth again. The resistance fades. The confusion clears. Direction returns with clarity. You are no longer the same person who first stumbled. You carry insight now. Insight protects destiny. It shields you from repeating patterns. It guards your influence from subtle erosion. This chapter is teaching you responsibility without fear. You now understand that your actions matter deeply, yet you are not crushed by that reality. You carry it with humility and gratitude. That balance is powerful. There is also a strengthening of your spiritual authority. Authority does not grow through perfection, it grows through surrendered weakness. When you acknowledge your need for God, you become a vessel that heaven can trust more fully. Your prayers will carry deeper sincerity. Your worship will carry deeper gratitude. Your obedience will carry deeper conviction, all because you walked through correction instead of running from it. The phrase that once frightened you now feels different. Heaven is not in chaos. Heaven is active in your growth. The stirring you sensed was movement toward your restoration. God is building endurance in you. Endurance allows you to withstand future pressure without drifting. It keeps you steady when emotions rise. It keeps you grounded when temptation whispers. A little-known second morning practice, once kept within CIA documents, is making its way back into public view, and people are already reporting fast financial shifts. It takes only seconds to complete, yet it stimulates a dormant wealth center in the brain that most people never access. Click the link in the description and comments now to check it out before it's gone. You are also learning to forgive yourself. This is important. God has forgiven you fully.